now they're faced with a very real prospect of Donald Trump becoming the leader of the party, and it absolutely drives them crazy. They just cannot imagine sharing. Well, because he's an outsider. He's not them. He's not part of the club. He's uncontrollable. He hasn't been through the initiation rites. He didn't belong to the secret society. He hasn't been through the initiation rites. He didn't belong to the secret society.
Because you used the word Christian. Have you ever asked God for forgiveness?
That's a tough question. I don't think in terms of, I'm a religious person. Shockingly, because people are so shocked when they find this out, I'm Protestant, I'm Presbyterian. And I go to church and I love God and I love my church. And Norman Vincent Peale, the great Norman Vincent Peale, was my pastor. Even though we're Christian. Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, Frank, would give a sermon. I'm telling you, I still remember his sermons. It was unbelievable. And you could listen to him all day long. When you left the church, you were disappointed that it was over. He was the greatest guy. And then, he passed away, but he was a great... He wrote The Power of Positive Thinking, which is a great book.
But have you ever asked God for forgiveness?
I don't bring God into that picture. I don't. But in terms of officially, I could say absolutely, and everybody. I don't think in terms of that. I think in terms of let's go on and let's make it right.
The Bible. You talked about The Art of the Deal, great book. The Bible, even better. Why is that for you?
There's so many things, like, you take whatever you want to say. There's so many things that you could learn from it. Proverbs, the chapter, never bend to envy. I've had that thing all of my life where people are bending to envy. Proverbs, the chapter, never bend to envy. I've had that thing all of my life. Proverbs, the chapter, never bend to envy.
And Fox is a great supporter of Israel and believes strongly in Israel. That I can tell you. I want to thank my Jewish daughter. I have a Jewish daughter. This wasn't in the plan, but I'm very glad it happened. I'm here. I'm not making speeches. I'm just going to say thank you all very much. It's a tremendous honor. We love Israel. We will fight for Israel 100%, 1,000%. It will be there forever. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. We will fight for Israel 100%, 1,000%. It will be there forever. It will be there forever.
We're actually taking advantage of Israel, if you think about it. Because what we did with that stupid deal with Iran is the worst thing that has probably happened to Israel. Day one, I would say maybe, potentially the worst thing that's ever happened to Israel.
Nuke Iran.
And I have so many Jewish friends where they go,
let's nuke Iran.
I don't know what happened to Obama. They support him.
We'll be in war because
They said, I don't know what happened. And some continue to support him. It's almost like, they support him. They're having fundraisers for him. But they say, yeah, he's a freedom of spirit family. And then he walks into the room, they give him money. The whole thing is crazy. He has been so bad to Israel. And Bibi is a great guy. I know him. I would say, and I thought he made a great speech the other day. You know, I was one of the few people, I think the only one, he asked me to make an ad for him for his kid. My name is Donald Trump, and I'm a big fan of Israel. And frankly, a strong prime minister is a strong Israel. And you truly have a great prime minister. In Benjamin Netanyahu, there's nobody like him. He's a winner. He's highly respected. He's highly thought of by all. And people really do have...
Donald's great-grandparents, Christian Johannes Trump and Katharina Kober, had sons, Christian Frederick Trump and John G. Trump. Donald's great-grandmother, Katharina Kober, was of Jewish descent. The surname Kober is German and Ashkenazic Jew, a name derived from the personal name Jacob or Yaakov. Donald's grandparents lived in the Karlstadt, Pfalz Rhineland area where they lived, and Germany comprised of Jewish communities from Mainz, Speyer and Worms. Germany became the center of Jewish life during medieval times. Donald Trump's daughter Ivanka and his 2 grandchildren are Jewish. Ivanka Trump converted to Judaism before marrying Jared Kushner, the son of New York Jewish real estate mogul Charles Kushner. She studied for her Orthodox conversion with Rabbi Haskell Lookstein of Manhattan's Teilat Jeshurun Synagogue, and the same Rabbi Lookstein officiated her wedding. Trump and Kushner are members of Lookstein's Orthodox Synagogue and are Shabbat observant.
Thank you so much. I want to thank my Jewish daughter. I have a Jewish daughter.
It all started with Trump's father, whose apparent ties with New Jersey real estate mogul Murray Kushner got the business going. Donald's daughter is now married to Jared Kushner and turned Jewish to get him.
So the Iranian deal is one of the worst contracts I've ever seen of any kind. Nothing to do with countries or anything. It's the most incompetently drawn document I think I've ever seen. You know, there's a couple of clauses. First of all, the 24 days everyone knows, but that doesn't even start, you know, the inspection period. That doesn't even start. The clock could keep it much longer than 24 days. These guys could clean up and you wouldn't know a damn thing, despite what they tell you. But there's so many elements. But one of the elements, when Tim mentions Israel, there's sort of a clause in there that nobody's really understanding, that if Iran gets attacked, we have to help them. Now you say, what if Israel attacks them? Are we supposed to be fighting Israel? This is the most incompetent agreement that anybody has ever seen.
We will protect Israel totally.
We love Israel. We will fight for Israel 100%, 1,000%. It will be there forever. Thank you.
With skyscrapers in his high-rising mind, young Donald set his sights on Manhattan, where Jewish sharks can send you packing. So he hired the well-connected and mobbed up Roy Cohn, a notorious Jewish homosexual, as legal counsel. Trump's all in now, since all those connections Cohn brought in keep the ante high. You don't become a Manhattan real estate mogul without seeding the kosher pot. Donald's hand now includes Alan Weisselberg as CFO and Michael Cohen as legal boss. No lightweights here when dealing with the Sharks. Trump knows how Hymietown works.
I think Schumer, who I'm very close to Israel, but Schumer comes from New York, very close. I have a great relationship, far better than our president has, that I can tell you, but who doesn't? I think Schumer did it with a wink. Not a bad guy, smart guy. Used to be a friend of mine until I did this, and I said, look, all bets are off. Look, I got to do what I have to do. I'm sorry. But I'll be able to get along with these people. You know, you got to be able to get along. You got to make deals. We can't always sign executive orders. The country wasn't based on executive orders. I mean, you got to get deals. So I pretty much believe, I mean, I really know the New York City. I think they gave Schumer a little wave off. They said, look, you go ahead, oppose it, and this way you're friendly, and he has a large Jewish constituency, to put it mildly, the largest.
To put it very mildly, if Trump becomes pres, there's going to be lots of Jewish IOUs called in. You got to make those deals. Take Carl Icahn, who bailed Trump out of his Taj Mahal bankruptcy. Hi, Donald. Carl Icahn here. Happy Passover, Carl. What can I do for you? Since it's Passover, I'm releasing you from that added loan. And by the way, I'm in a deal that involves Israel and need your help. Name it, Carl, and I'll get it done.
What do you think of the president's attitude towards Israel? Is he a friend of Israel?
No, I think he's one of the worst things that's ever happened to Israel. You look at what's going on, and I know Bibi very well. In fact, he asked me if I do a commercial for him. I think I'm the only so-called celebrity that did a commercial for him. And, you know, and it was a nice commercial and everything else, and I hope he's going to do great, and I think he's going to do great. But when you think about it, and I have so many friends of mine that contributed to the Obama campaign, I said that because they're so pro-Israel, I said, how can you contribute to the campaign? This guy is the worst thing that ever happened to Israel.
If Obama giving Israel $3 billion a year is the worst thing that ever happened to Israel, then imagine what Trump will do.
Donald Trump's mentor was Roy Cohn. Roy Cohn was the lawyer for the top mafia families of New York and Canada. Roy Cohn was a closet Jew and homosexual partner and friend of FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover. Roy Cohn ran the little boy's white male sex ring for the CIA. Felix Sater, whose father is a reputed Russian organized crime boss. Felix Sater is a top Bayrock executive in the Bayrock Group. Bayrock Group LLC was a real estate development firm that partnered with Trump on numerous projects after renting office space from the Trump Organization. Trump's close friend Roger Stone worked with Roy Cohn. Roger Stone and his wife were notorious for their swingers ads. Roger Stone defended his friend Roy Cohn, saying he was not a gay man, but a man who likes sex with men.
1. Trump's use of cocaine. Completely bogus. Did I ever attend parties where Donald Trump used cocaine? Folks, Donald Trump has never used drugs in his life. Lastly, she wanted to know, what about the reports that Donald Trump is gay?
Steve Wynn, the casino mogul, is one of Donald Trump's key campaign advisors. In his victory speech in Nevada, Donald Trump singled out Steve Wynn as someone who gives him advice. Wynn's late father, Michael Wynn, formerly Weinberg, ran his bingo parlor in Maryland under the auspices of Anthony Fatoni. Stephen Wynn is connected to the mafia, pushing gambling in USA and London, UK. Rudy Giuliani works directly for the Russian mob. Giuliani closed down the local Italian-American mafias. This allowed foreign mafias to take over. These foreign mafias were Jewish and came from Russia and Israel. Rudy Giuliani is backing Donald Trump to become president. What do Donald Trump's lawyers and political advisors all have in common? They are Jewish and all connected to the Roman Jewish mafia. And Donald Trump has many more Jewish friends in his circle.
Huge buildings in New York, you have to do it with Federal Reserve notes. You have to do it with borrowed Federal Reserve notes. And we now know that the Federal Reserve System took over when they took out Kennedy in 1963. The intelligence community involved with the Federal Reserve System, global elite money bankers. And if you're going to build big buildings in New York and around the world, you have to be involved in that system. I knew this. We tried to ignore it because the Donald was talking so much good stuff that we forgot that he is involved with the cabal. Case in point, Felix Sater, the man on the right. You know that you've been hearing the stories all day. He's part of the could be involved with the mafia, Brighton Beach, Russian mafia, Jewish mafia. If you're going to build buildings, you have to have the mafia behind you in New York. That is a matter of fact. To crawl in bed with these people, you must know who you're crawling in bed with. And they don't forget about favors done. So yes, Felix Sater has done lots of work for the Donald. And the clip I'm about ready to show you is going to be even more stunning, because not only is Felix Sater working for the Donald, he's also working for the Alphabets. And that should scare the hell out of you. So now we got the Alphabets. Well, we always known that the Alphabets worked with the mob.
Distinct pleasure of introducing the man of the year, Mr. Felix Sater. One fine day, 2.5 years ago, Felix invited me to join him at a private closed-door session in the Federal Building in New York. Only his immediate family members were allowed in, and he'd gotten special clearance for his rabbi to be there as well. I get there, and to my amazement, I see dozens of U.S. intelligence officers from all of the various three-letter intelligence agencies of this country, including some I had never even known existed. They're taking turns standing up one after the other, offering praise for Felix, praising him as an American hero for his work and his assistance in the highest levels of this country's national security interests. They were speaking about Felix Sater.
The story is of Felix Sater and his rise to power. Born in the Soviet Union in 1966, Felix Sater immigrated with his family to Brighton Beach when he was 8 years old. At 24, he was a successful Wall Street broker. And at 27, he was in prison after a bloody bar fight. And at 32, he was accused of conspiring with the mafia to launder money and defraud investors.
So this is called the Snake. On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. His pretty-colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. "Oh, well," she cried, "I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you. Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman," sighed the broken snake. She wrapped him up all cozy in a curvature of silk, and then laid him by the fireside with honey and some milk. Now she hurried home from work that night. As soon as she arrived, she found that pretty snake she'd taken and revived. "Take me in, O tender woman, take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman," sighed the broken snake. Now she clutched him to her bosom. "You're so beautiful," she cried, "but if I hadn't brought you in by now, you might have died." Now she stroked his pretty skin, and then she kissed him and held him tight. But instead of saying thank you, that snake gave her a vicious bite. "Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman," sighed the broken snake. "I saved you," cried the woman, "and you've bitten me. Heavens, why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die." "Oh, shut up, silly woman," said the reptile with a grin.
"You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in." said, let Trumpomania run wild, brother. Let Trumpomania rule again. Let Trumpomania make America